Welcome to Romagne, a little village in the northeast of France. Here we find the Museum 1418, where its owner, Jean-Paul de Vries, keeps the memory alive of the soldiers who lived and died in the First World War. In a series of short videos, Jean-Paul will show us some highlights, all found on the former battlefields within a few miles from his own museum.
Yeah, the bayonet, also something special. You can already see the size, which is nothing to do anymore with the First World War. A bayonet was long in the Napoleonic warfare because people were sitting on a horse. So if you were a ground man, you could pick off a man from his horse by having a long weapon. Don't forget that a weapon is about 160, 180. Put this bayonet on it, you got over the 2 meters, so you could pick a man on a horse. But in the First World War, a trench was 1 meter wide. What could you do with a weapon of over 2 meters? Nothing. You would get stuck, you would, look, the barbed wire will be fixed in this. It's a very unlogical thing, and you see in the beginning soldiers will cut it off, make a new point of it, because that's functional. Later on, the army will jump into that. Like this part, I told you already, barbed wire will stuck in it. How can you ever imagine making a weapon which caught the man in the barbed wire? Look how the Germans made it. This will always flip up the barbed wire. This one will always stuck the barbed wire. So the French will, after 1.5 years, will cut it off because they discover it will catch the man in the barbed wire. And this one is called the Rosalie. It's the French one. Very nice name for one of the meanest weapons in the war, because if you look at it, it's a crucifix knife. It's a wound you can never heal. You can heal a wound when it's horizontal by stitching it like this, or vertical and by stitching it like this. But both, it's impossible. This gives hemorrhagie, internal bleedings. You can never heal these. And this is another one. The Germans, they call the English name for it is butcher knife, but the engineers, or pioneers called in Germans, had this knife with a saw in it. Not a saw to harm people, no, a saw by sawing roots of a tree, because if they were working, digging, they needed a saw. Well, the saw was made on a bayonet, but if the enemy would catch this man with a saw, it was considered as a very meanful weapon, and this man was, by example, killed on the spot because you're using this meanful weapon, and we kill you. We have a reason to kill you because it's not done. But don't forget, these pioneers were given this weapon as an extra tool. And this one is very nice because you can see with a hammer, they took out all the saws. Because they knew if they were caught with it, they were dead. So the soldier himself took it out. It's a very nice detail you can see in the movie All Quiet on the Western Front, in Western these Neues. The sergeant is telling his men, don't use ever this or take this bayonet along because people will kill you with it. And here you can see that the soldier really took out the saw by just hammering the points down. With all these bayonets as an extra weapon during the warfare in a trench, if there were no bullets anymore, you still had your extra weapon.
If you would like to support the museum, please visit our website www.friendsofromagne1418.com.